Hey guys, it's King. Welcome to another Autism Digest interview, where today we have an interview that's been in the works for several months now. He's the lead singer of the Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, who you might know from such hits as Face Down, Guardian Angel, X's for I, E's single, and their upcoming album, X's for I's the album, that comes out actually next week, believe it or not. He is Ronnie Winter. Thanks for coming on, Ronnie.
Hello, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
It's going extremely well. I think a lot of people recognize you. RGA has raised several generations. Face Down has been on several workout playlists. I know personally it's my mom's favorite workout song, but for those that may not know you, do you mind summarizing a bit of your story in your own words?
Yeah, we're everybody's mom's favorite band. There you go. I mean, that sums it up. But it's hard to sum up your whole career in a few words, but really the story is two brothers who wanted to be in a band when they were young, and they went for it, and they worked really hard, and it took a long time, and then they made it.
That's a really great way to put it. Short, sweet, straight to the point, and as the old saying goes, the rest is for written record. My next question for you is, how do you think autism has helped you with producing and making music?
Well, I'm a level 1, which means I have pretty good control over my body, but not over my ability to pull away from when I'm focusing on something that I'm really interested in without being grumpy. So in that way, it's hurt me because people can usually just pull away from a task and stop and go help somebody and do something. But when I'm in a music mode, I don't want to do anything but that. So, but on the good side of things, when I'm able to have that time to myself, dedicated to that part of what I need to get done, I create something pretty great, or at least some people think it's great, and I think it's great. And after that, I'm available to those people. So it's a give and take is all I'm saying. I think it's helped me and hurt me, both. I think it's helped my music, but hurt my personal relationships.
That's a really great way to put it. I'm level 1 myself. And in a way, I think autism has also helped and hurt me. Helped me in the sense of me being able to focus on a particular task, say my academics. I'm actually about to get my 7th Dean's List currently.
Wow.
Thank you.
So incredible.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Professionally, being able to gather up all these guests for this platform, being able to memorize certain biographies and their stories and other aspects of their lives. But it's also hurt me in a way. For example, I need prompting with certain things. I have a bit of an aversion to asking for help, especially over chores. Either due to egomania, because of autism, or maybe not wanting to be seen as anything less. As of late, I've been looking for adult resources in order to help with that. So I really like and I can relate to that answer, which leads me to the next question. Your son's on the spectrum. What resources have you utilized as a parent to help your son? And as a parent of an autistic individual, what do you think of the current school system and their approach to autism awareness?
It was a huge deal to me as a dad and his mom too. Once we got the diagnosis for Wolfie, to just dive in, which is really hard when you're already an adult. So that was tough. So if you dive in, instead of hiding from it, you learn all kinds of things about resources. So we just used them all, starting with something called ABA therapy. And at the time, Wolfie was almost nonverbal. And ABA therapy is pretty highly questionable in the community. But the way me and his mom felt about it was, we're there, we're in the room. So some of the stories we read must have happened when the parents were not in the room, because if the parents were in the room, they would have said, stop doing that to my kid. So I'm not trying to judge any other parents, but our position was simple. We're in the room, so we're going to go for it. And we did. And through that process, I started wondering, well, where does autism come from? And like everyone gets to that journey in their life. You start wondering, where did this come from? But for me, I wasn't thinking about myself. I was thinking about Wolfie. And he has a level 2, so it's harder for him to control his body. It's a little more clear to the average bear walking by that he's on the spectrum, but not as clear as a level 3. He's right in the middle. And a lot of people wouldn't notice at all. Just depends on if you know what a STEM is. If you know what a STEM is, you'll see him right away. And then in the cues and the scripts, it'll all be kind of right on cue from everybody that's a level 1 or a level 2. And I'm the same way. A lot of those scripts I learned, I put into songs. I took the scripts that I was taught and put them into my music. And it worked. I couldn't believe it. And it's still working. 23 years later, it's working. So whenever I find, there's a cool thing for anybody out there struggling with what you and I are both confessing to right now. Whenever I do find something that works, like I find somebody explain something to me in a way where it clicks with me and I got it forever now and I won't forget it, I put that into my song, and like, it's cool because somehow it works. I can't quite explain it. So even with Wolfie, I'm trying to learn where his it works connection is as his being, because he's his own person and he turned 9. So in that process of us gathering resources like ABA and there's many others, there's a whole list, regional services, etc. Like, it's a really long, detailed list. So if you're new in the game and you're a parent, I suggest just starting with ABA, and they'll walk you through all of it. They'll tell you about everything. You don't have to be overwhelmed by the internet. Step 1 is the diagnosis, and step 2 is the ABA, and the ABA will hold your hand and walk you through the rest. I wish somebody would have told us that in the beginning. So, but during our journey, we kind of just, you learn that ABA, if it's done the correct way, the proper way, is actually just training the parents, not the child. So once we had absorbed enough, we just started practicing it ourselves, so now it's kind of like really cool because mom and dad are the ABA therapists. So it's not so edgy, it's a little bit less combative. It's more about trying to connect and not correct. And of course we weren't fantastic at it at first, but nobody is, but we got into a flow. And then all of a sudden I started noticing how similar we were, just like specifically him and me, and not just because he's my kid, like more like the way my body would jerk or flop and the way his would, or how he smells something before he bites into it. Everyone who sees me do that thinks it's weird, but I've done it my entire life. I smell it first, even though I know what it is, and then I bite into it. And he started doing that, but not watching me. So that's a sensory thing. So all of my sensory things he has, plus up a level, So like that's what started me on my journey. So I told his mom, I'm going to get tested, because from the research I've done, which was extensive, we would have to do a whole nother episode on just that if you really wanted to. I'm sure you have done the same amount or more yourself, because you seem like the same type of intellect as mine, or greater than mine even. So the point is, we dig, so, and people may think that we're dumb, but we're not. We're quite capable, and we've proven it time and time again, and we keep proving it. So I've done my research. I don't have to be a politician with an agenda to manipulate a community, to sell a drug for a pharmaceutical company, all of which is in plain sight, if you're paying attention and not watching advertising and TV shows and cartoons, which is most of the country. They're watching 35-second garbage reels on TikTok and Instagram about nothing all day. And that's why things like this slide by. Oops. They slide by. They slide right by. If you pay attention to the right hand, you don't see what the left hand is doing. So that's what's going on in regards to the autistic community, in my opinion. I'm just one person. I'm not the elected official for the autism community, but I wish to hell I was, because I'm not afraid, and things would be different if I was the president. I can tell you that. Everybody would know who we were, and nobody would be pushing us around. But maybe that's why I'm not the president, because people don't like it when people like me stand up and say, that's enough. So I'm not really happy with what's going on, with what's being called like a cure, because I don't think there's anything wrong with me or you or my son. I think that we are, according to my research, we are the future. We are evolution. Our minds are faster and more focused, so much to the point to where we can't control our bodies as much, and we can't communicate with people whose minds are slower as well. So both people get frustrated. But that's evolution, man. And eventually, one day, 150 years from now, everyone's going to be like you and me. That's what the scientists are saying. And you know how beautiful it's going to be? There's not going to be money. There's not going to be borders. There won't be anything called race. There won't be greed. There won't be famine. Because people like us don't believe in stupid crap like that. So naturally, the human race is evolving, and that's what autism is. And that's why there's so many different shades, because it's happening over time organically through Mother Nature, and it's working the poison out. Now, that's my theory, combined with a lot of people way smarter than me. What's yours?
I absolutely agree with that perspective. And I really like what you said about connecting, not distancing. Like I said, I've been personally trying to find some adult resources, even if they're small, as a reason, due to the problems I've been noticing within myself I mentioned before. But I really like what you said. It's all about what works best for you, not listening to what someone without a medical degree or anyone skeptical, for that matter, has to say. There's nothing wrong with anyone besides ignorance. It's all about empathy and not judging anyone by standards, especially if they're unrealistic. My next question for you is, you have an album coming out next week with your band. It's called X's for Eyes. Do you mind telling us a bit about what to expect from that album?
Well, it's an album that we just love, first of all. The whole band likes it. I always mention that because people forget that the reason why we're in a band is because we have a good time jamming. and we're excited to play it. And we're an older band. A lot of our fans are just kind of waiting around for Face Down every night, which we understand because it's our song. So like, it's like if you go see the Eagles, you're waiting for Hotel California. If you go see Blink 182, you're waiting for all the small things. So like, it's not abnormal to have a song that everybody's waiting for, but it's fun to have a new record out because you get to see how people react live. So we're interested to see that because I literally can see their faces and you can see their reaction. You know how like reaction videos are big on YouTube now?
Yeah, I love those.
Well, I'm 42. How old are you?
I'm 21 years old.
Okay, so I'm almost double your age, okay? So check this out. When I was your age or a little bit younger than you, there was no YouTube. When I was your age. So imagine being you right now with no YouTube or anything like YouTube. So there were no reaction vids. So the only time you got to see a reaction vid was in your mind from stage. So bands used to test songs out live before they even recorded them back in the day. And they would watch the body language of the listeners and they would see, okay, are they bobbing their head? Are they getting into this one? Or are they kind of bored? Are they smiling and having fun? Or are they looking uninterested? And then they would discuss it. And that's a lost art. And there's just so many hundreds, probably thousands of lost arts that I'm noticing in the gap from people around your age to my age. So all I'm going to say is don't forget about that stuff, try walking in our shoes, our generation. I try walking in my eldest generation often. I will leave my phone on the kitchen table. I will take off my shoes and I will walk my dog around the block, even if it's hot or even if it's cold, with just a t-shirt on mostly or a light jacket, and just be out in the elements away from everything, the laptop, the phone, the car, everything, just me and the animal for like an hour and a half. And what happens is you just snap out of this constant paying attention to a screen. So I also think that that's just important because people on the spectrum, to be honest, to kind of smack our own butts a little bit here and be accountable, we're given screen time more than other people. I know I was when I was a kid because it kept my attention and because I was good at it. And now that school's involved, so it's even better. Oh, they're learning. It's a good thing. But let's not forget, guys, people on the spectrum need outside time too. And even if it has to be coerced, even if you need to just basically bribe that person to go out for an hour and a half a day, then do what you got to do. If they like ice cream, get them ice cream. Doesn't matter. They need an hour and a half to 2 hours a day outside. So seeing how I got you, and I know there's going to be some people watching this, a lot of people I've met seem to forget about that. So it's important.
Exactly. Absolutely agree. I can relate to liking to be outside. I think with me, it's a sensory thing. Whenever I go for a hike with my family, I zone out. I'm taking in senses, focus specifically on the trail or the hike. So I definitely relate to that.
Let me see. You may or may not be like me, but when I go on a hike, I always look straight down at my feet so I don't fall. And then I stop and look up and around. But everybody else looks around and they walk. How do you do it?
I can show you. Let's say I'm outside, right? I'm just straight ahead, focus specifically on the trail. Sometimes ahead of my family. Obviously, I stop for them to make, especially my younger siblings, to make sure they can catch it.
So you're watching them. You're watching their bodies.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's a cool method. I like that. I'm going to try that next time.
Thank you, sir. My next question for you is, what's your advice to anyone, neurodivergent or not, that wants to make it in the music industry?
Just like what you're doing right now. Just work hard. Just use every tool you can find. Try to do it all on your own with no help. Eventually, you'll get good enough to where the right people will reach out to you. That's what happened to me. There's a guy named Steve from New York, and he found me in the middle of nowhere, just because I didn't give up and I kept putting music out and kept trying. And it happens, dreams do come true, but they only come true for the people who are willing to work for them. I'm a big Disney guy, like you wouldn't even believe it. A lot of people say they're big into Disney, but I'm like past that threshold into a whole nother galaxy of Disney obsession. So, they say all of these cool things, like when you wish upon a star, it makes no difference who you are. In my opinion, all of those are true. Every one of them. Because I know a lot of people who had more opportunities than I did growing up. Financially, neuro-wise, just having a better shot at school and stuff because they were kind of built regular, up here. Or whatever the reason. Just a likable personality, whatever it is. You can ask anybody that knew me. Struggled the whole time, not scholastically. Grades were extremely easy for me. I was mostly bored almost all the time. But the relationships, the friendships, it wasn't really good for me. It never really worked out. So, and that's been common with people that I've met that have our condition so far. I mean, I've met one person who literally said he was the most popular kid in school. And I was like, dude, you must have went to the coolest school in the world. And he was like, I did. But then he didn't even tell me what school it was. So there was probably some like Autism Academy. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, oh man, I wish I could have went to something like that. I went to a regular high school. But I'm not trashing that school I went to, but they weren't equipped for, and I wasn't even diagnosed. So I can't blame them. I can't blame anyone. It was just something that nobody knew about. How about you? When did you get yours diagnosis?
I was diagnosed when I was 2 years old. Actually, I'm 21 now. Oh, I don't remember the specific conditions of the diagnosis, but I was born in 2004. I got the diagnosis in 2006. It's 2025. So I'm 21 now, so it's been about 19 years now. And to see how far things have gone, especially in the sense of diagnosis technology, resources, groups, and people's understanding, it's honestly a beautiful thing.
It is. And that's why I didn't mean to sound ungrateful earlier. I'm not trying to sound ungrateful that the word autism is in the press so much, but I don't know. You didn't really answer the question. Do you think, let's just be blunt, do you think that this new drug they're pushing is some kind of cure?
I doubt it. You haven't even been following politics as of late because it's been nothing but negativity. I agree about certain chemicals, and
they were right if they were correct.
Heck,
there would just be another mutation, and then there would just have to be another medicine. So, it's just, all I'm saying is, how about, like you said, acceptance, empathy, and just let us be? How about that?
Exactly. Do you agree about certain chemicals in the food supplies shouldn't be present? Because back in your day, certain foods only had, 5 ingredients at most? Nowadays, it's over 87.
It's just I
think things should be healthy. It's not fair to radicalize and categorize a certain group to push those beliefs. It's as simple as that. I say this a lot, Ronnie, but hearing your perspective is honestly the highlight of my time on this platform. You've offered something extremely unique today.
Thank you, man. I feel the same.
Of course. My last question for you is, apart from the upcoming album next week, what does the future hold for you and your band?
Well, actually, it's looking good. The band's gonna tour. That's what we always do. If you're in a band, you tour. I got my instruments set up, so we're gonna rehearse and write some new music. As soon as you put a new album out, you start on the next album. A lot of people don't know that. So literally the week after the new album's out, you're starting on the next album. Because if you don't, then you're way behind. You're like years behind. But if you can find that right pocket to where you just finished one project and you're still in the groove of that workflow for that particular type of accomplishment, which we're talking about, like making a song, if you can jump back into that groove, it's easier than if you step away and you're like, oh, I'm going to try to be a painter for a little while, or I'm going to try to be this for a little while. Because I still do that, and I hope you do too. I still try different things sometimes, even though I'm not necessarily good at them, to see if I would be good at them, to see if I do catch it right away. Because some things I get right away, even faster than neurotypical people. And then some things I never get. I still, to this day, can't really cook in the kitchen like a regular adult. So I just live off the microwave, and I'm fine. But I'm 42, and that's not usual, So all I'm saying is take your easy wins where you can get them. So what I try is everything, kind of like that Zootopia song, try everything. I don't know if you saw that movie.
Yeah, I saw it.
Try everything. That's what they're saying in that song. Try everything, even if you fail, because eventually you're going to accidentally be really great at something, and then boom, that could turn into a career just like that.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it. With me personally, one thing I don't get is deodorant after a set. I obviously do hygiene, but my perspective in that aspect, which is a bit weird, is that it's a bit weird to me because you're technically washing all of the stinkiness of your day. So why would you need deodorant? So I can definitely relate to not understanding cooking and the other life skills. Before we go, I have a bit of a tradition around here. Whenever I interview a musician, I like to jam out with them a bit, just because music is a bit of a special interest sometimes. So do you mind if we close this out a bit with Face Down?
Absolutely. What tuning are you in?
I'm in standard tuning, but I have a capo on the third fret. Let me get my paper here.
Let me check my tuning.
Oh, here it is. Right, are you ready?
Yep. This is, if you leave your door open, I left my back door open, so it threw it way out of tune. Here we go. That should be close enough. All right, so play your first chord.
All right, first chord could be in E minor, then C, G, D,
You drive me crazy. One long picture in my hands. So never going around. In the mirror, say something again. You cry alone in many places like you. Turn around, feel it now. I'll tell you, my friend, one day you'll find that your mind won't go down till I see it found. Oh, I like the way you play it.
All right, that's going to do it for this interview, guys. Thank you so much to Ronnie for coming on.
You're pretty good, man.
Perspectives and story. If you guys want to see more amazing interviews, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the Autism Digest channel. And we're pleased to announce that we officially are about to release our next issue in November. So if you guys want to purchase that, be sure to go to autismdigest.com. Stay tuned for the audio file to be posted on our Spotify. And be sure to check out RJ's new album, X's for Eyes, out October 2nd. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you later.